You guys are overthinking this. Dude,
It's
you're college students.
complicated.
Dude, no, it's not. You're college
It
students. You're not
is.
supposed to think so much. Like, go ahead.
That's the whole point of college.
Oh, it is?
What
All
are
right.
our classes for?
All right, go ahead.
Don't think. Use
Matt.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Honestly. They didn't really benefit from it rather than just like it being there for a namesake kind of situation.
Those three are saying, hey, in my workplace, we're fine. We got this. Like, DEI, it's good. All these diversity initiatives, it's all happened. This guy is not. So what do you make of the fact that he's the only one of the four people, black people here on average, that are saying like, yeah, I got a problem with this. This is so awesome because what you all are demonstrating is that these are really complex things. People out there think that you're just following what everybody wants you to think and what people like me have brainwashed you into thinking, and a lot of people think that. I'm actually not saying it's not a big issue. I'm just saying it's kind of curious that if I read the headlines, and there are always these talking heads, right? So oftentimes, they're going to be a show on CNN or Fox or whatever, and it's going to be on the benefits of DEI, and they're going to get someone we need more DEI. Like black people or Hispanic people, Asian people are like, we need more, right? It's always going to be some black, Hispanic, or Asian person. And then we have somebody else who says, no, actually, things are working really well, and it's oftentimes going to be someone who looks like me or Mac. And then so what it does is projects a certain idea out of people of color. That you all think the same, first off, that you're all Democrats, let's say, and you're all supportive of these initiatives, and that's not true at all. And that the idea that white people are all against these initiatives, and that's really, here, let me go to the next slide. What percentage of black, Hispanic, and Asian workers think their employers pay too little attention to DEI?
It's probably a lot of them. I feel like a lot of people think this is just to fill a quota, like I said, because when I spoke to Penn State Global, everybody spoke about how they didn't really benefit from it rather than just it being there for a namesake kind of situation. And I'm sure that's not just in the US. Even in India, it can happen. It's more like...
Well, yeah, and I just want to speak on behalf of Penn State Global. The problem is, Penn State Global, it's really hard. You're part of bringing in all of these international students. And in a week's time, you got to integrate them into the entire university. And that's not easy to do. And so that's part of the issue there is, Carly, what do you think? What percentage of black, Hispanic, and Asian workers?
I think, honestly, it's different for
Black, Hispanic, and Asian.
How many black workers say, that's a bunch of nonsense?
I would say probably more. I don't know a percentage, but I would say probably more so than...
More than black workers?
Yeah.
Well, more. Give a percentage. Look out at the classroom of all. Imagine everybody in this room is black. And they're all working in companies, right? What percentage of them are saying they all go home, they go to work, they go home at night, they're like, yeah, I went to work today, I came home and whatever, it was a good day, it was a bad day, whatever. And how many of them do you think are coming home and saying, man, my company is just a bunch of bullshit. They really don't take me seriously, they don't take these programs seriously, they're just really not on it, man, they could do a lot more.
There's just so many factors into that.
But take a guess,
it's very difficult to see.
I know, but that's what happens here. We ask people to answer that question. So how many of these black people said, yeah, not enough. They don't pay enough attention?
Okay, I don't know, but I'll just do a lowball answer. I would say 60, 70%.
60, 70%? Matt, how about you?
Maybe. I don't know.
You guys are overthinking this. Dude,
It's
you're college
complicated.
students. Dude, no, it's not. You're college
It
students. You're not
is.
supposed to think so much. Go ahead.
That's the whole point of college.
Oh, it is?
What
All
are
right.
our classes for?
All right, go ahead.
Don't think. Use
Matt.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, use ChatGPT. You should just get your phone out and ask ChatGPT. What do you think?
I'm just going to go generic for all three groups and just say 30. That's based on nothing. It's
Yeah, why
just a
30?
guess.
Why do you think only 30% would say like
Well, is it meaning that
they're
those-
unhappy with the way their companies deal with DEI?
Well, that could mean that they wish they wanted them to do more. They wish they wanted to do less. Which way is it?
They pay too little attention to it. They like need to pay more attention
So
to
they
it.
want them to do more.
Do more, man.
I'm going 40%.
40%. Bro, give me a number. You've had a lot of time to think about this.
I think like 20. Like
20?
I was
very
not
many?
thinking that much. Yeah, 60.
Yeah,
is kinda
why,
crazy.
how come?
I don't know. I feel like there's so
Yeah,
much. There's so
maybe.
many efforts nowadays. I'm surprised that they saying 60. Like there's so much effort talking about DEI. There's so much going on with that. So I'm surprised that they say so much.
Oh, okay.
Like,
But it could be that.
No, it could be, but it could also be just like something so minor because it says too little attention, sure, but like it could also just be like the most minor change. So
Yeah,
incorporating
bro.
all
Like,
of that,
they're
it could be.
doing
a
like
lot.
they're putting attention to it, but they're not really putting attention to it. You know.
I don't think it's even that big. I think just like
Well, here.
it's. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, those are the numbers, right? So
It's way too high.
black people are the most. So think about this, right? Now, this is what's interesting, right? 1 in 4 black American workers are saying, "Hey, the people aren't really taking this seriously enough," right? What's that mean that it's one? Look, only 1 in 4. So that means, okay, there's 3. So you see 4 here, right? Do we have them on the screen? So the 3 of you sit down. So just this guy, those 3 are saying, hey, in my workplace, we're fine. We got this. Like, DEI, it's good. All these diversity initiatives, it's all happened. This guy is not. So what do you make of the fact that he's the only one of the 4 people, black people here, on average, that are saying, like, yeah, I got a problem with this? First off,
Sorry. I just think that it also really depends on what work you're doing.
No, we're not doing that. Just answer this question. No.
Okay,
I know.
Sorry, repeat the question.
All
Sorry.
right.
It's. I think the questions are very vague and they're just.
Yeah,
I like specific questions. Sorry.
Oh my God. Here. God.
Sorry.
This is what I love. This.
You need
See,
to,
this
I
is
think we
why.
need to think critically about
No.
everything.
This is good.
Sorry.
Listen, you understand. This is so awesome because what you all are demonstrating is that these are really complex things. People out there think that you're just following what everybody wants you to think and what people like me have brainwashed you into thinking, and a lot of people think that. And Corley, what you're saying, and I'm having fun with you, you're saying like, no, actually, these are really complex. So, but here's what I want, Sambi.
Okay.
Listen.
Sorry.
What's it mean that he's the only one of the 4 that says, yeah, I'm not happy with the way my workplace is dealing with stuff? What's it mean? It's 1 in 4, my friend.
I feel like I have to agree with Carly here. There's a lot of factors that go into it. And it doesn't really have to be about race or diversity. Maybe he just doesn't like the situation.
Okay. You come to the United States from India. You experienced George Floyd because you had protests in India too. You had protests all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you come to the United States and you're aware that there's these race divisions here and like, oh man, and so black people are going to probably think a certain way about this. But hang on a second. So they're going to probably be thinking, because that's what all the protests were about. It wasn't just police violence. It started at that, but then it very quickly morphed into all sorts of others, like the terrible treatment, right? Inequality, so on. But what we're seeing is, well, yeah, okay, so black Americans, right? Black Americans feel this way. But you put 4 black people in a room and 3 of them are going like, nah, it's all good, man. My workplace, we're good. We're rocking and rolling. They put enough attention on it on average. Don't break this thing up forever. Just, what does that say to you that, wait, 3 of 4 black Americans are like, huh.
I just think it's like the work situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it just depends on the work situation. The 2 of you get an internship at Microsoft. Of every 4 black employees who are there, 3 of them are saying, like, yeah, this is great here. Yeah, it's got it. They do the right amount of attention. This is all good. Only 1 is saying, like, man.
Well, I mean, I don't think that just because there's a minority of people that disagree with something, that's going to change whether it's right or wrong. Like,
No, it's not. But what it's saying is maybe that people's attitudes, Hispanics, Asians, women, whatever, maybe people are kind of more comfortable than we kind of imagine them to be.
well, I think it's a good thing if they're comfortable in their workforce, but whether or not they think they attribute that to DEI or not, that's a different thing. So
Well,
like if 3 out of 4 say, I think my workplace treats me fairly. I think I'm not being discriminated against.
And I think they're putting enough attention on these issues.
I mean, that's going to be their personal opinion. It's going to affect them differently than how it affect me. Like, it doesn't change my stance.
Okay. No, that's fine. I got it. Jay.
I want to comment on something that you said.
Yep.
From a previous class, I never really thought about how I was black until other people started telling me that I was black.
Okay.
So like I was already comfortable like seeing white people, seeing people that didn't look like me. I mean, I'm from New York, so I see people that don't look like me all the time.
Yep.
So it's like I don't think I kind of see what you're trying to say. Like it's not that much of an issue for a DEI. At least in New York, I know it might be different in different places, but I ain't really think about diversity until people started telling me that that's what I should be doing or that's what I should be thinking about. But it was never really an issue for me.
So I'm actually not saying it's not a big issue. I'm just saying it's kind of curious that if I read the headlines, and there are always these talking heads, right? So oftentimes, they're going to be a show on CNN or Fox or whatever, and it's going to be on the benefits of DEI, and they're going to get someone who's, we need more DEI. Like black people or Hispanic people, Asian people are like, we need more, right? It's always going to be some black, Hispanic, or Asian person. And then we have somebody else who says, no, actually, like things are working really well. And it's oftentimes going to be someone who looks like me or Mac. And then so what it does is projects a certain idea out of people of color. That you all think the same, first off, that you're all Democrats, let's say, and you're all supportive of these initiatives, and that's not true at all. And that the idea that white people are all against these initiatives, and that's really, here, let me go to the next slide. Okay, so a staff member dedicated to DEI at my workplace has had a negative impact on our operations. Okay, 11%. These are all people. 11% said, yeah, this is like not really good. And having DEI trainings and meetings has had a negative impact on our operations. 9%. So basically 10%. 1 in 10 employees are saying, actually, all this DEI stuff is pretty negative. So what do you think of that? It's only like, what would you say to Robbie, what's his name? Robbie Starbuck? Was that his name? Yeah, Robbie Starbuck. What would you say to him? It's 10%. Mac, what would you say? Or it doesn't matter, any of you could say. 10% of workers in the U.S. are saying, actually, kind of this DEI stuff is, when asked, right? Now when asked publicly in a room like this, but when asked privately, you say, what do you actually really think about this stuff? You got a staff member or you got DEI trainings, and it's like, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? 10% said, actually, it's kind of had a negative impact on the organization.
I think it goes back to majority of the United States is kind of in the middle. Like, I feel like not many people like totally agree or totally disagree with. We're just kind of like, oh, like that's just the way it is. You can't really do much about it. And I don't think it's inherently bad or inherently good. It's just that's what people are trying to push. That's just my opinion.
So you're thinking, okay, all right, somebody else. And then I want to hear from you too.
I agree with what you're saying because I think, now, not to put myself on any type of pedestal, like I'm some super...
Dude, you already are because you're a white man, right? And you're straight on top of that, and you're able-bodied. So, dude, you are like, might as well be standing on the table. You know what I mean?
I am equal to my fellow man in the eyes of God, so I disagree.
He didn't say women, Corley, by the way.
Man,
so. All right.
Fellow man as in mankind. Everyone on planet Earth.
Make sure you say that to Lori sometime, all right?
Okay, I will.
Make sure, yeah.
Next Tuesday, I
Next
will.
Tuesday, you say that to her. Yeah.
But I agree, though. I think a lot of people they just don't care, like one way or another. They're just kind of like just moving through the ether.
Yeah.
And there's things that everybody does that for. Like there's stuff that I do for that. I mean, I wouldn't be able to point it out because that's what I'm just floating through and not thinking about.
But
I won't deny that there's probably something out there that I'm just like moving through, and I think that's probably true for a lot of people for a lot of political things. Because I agree, I think the majority of the people are pretty much centrist, and they're not like.
Okay, all right. Gee, before we get an answer from them, you got to have it. What do you think about this 10%? And by the way, is there any questions from the stream? All right, go ahead. Gee, what do you think that it's 10%? Is that surprising to you?
Not at all.
Why not?
Because look, you gotta think about the 10% people, right? Okay, let me just take an example. I'm a Korean guy, right? If I were to open a Korean restaurant, you kind of expect me to be the one cooking. But if you were to see a random white guy cooking Korean food and I'm the one doing the counting, something's off.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming those 10% are the kind of people who are going to be saying that's not right.
Dude, Samvi, it's like a lot of the Indian restaurants in town, they all have Guatemalan cooks, by the way. If you go into the kitchens and start speaking Spanish, everyone's going to turn around and go, yo, what's up? But they're Indian restaurants. And they cook quite well, by the way, I would say. I'm quite impressed. Okay, all right, so it's not that surprising to you. Do either of you have just a response to that? That's like 10%.
That sounds about right, to be honest. I don't like that it doesn't specify the reason why they don't like it, because I like specificity. Because there could be so many reasons why someone think that it's having a negative impact. Like,
I got you. Hang on. You hear that? College students are actually pretty smart. These four are really breaking this stuff down. You see, they're not just accepting the whatever. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I know I'm making light of it, but I really appreciate it. Okay. Do you have a quick thing, just like the 10%?
Yeah, I feel like most people are just too busy getting about their day.
Oh, dude.
Is that right?
Dude, I agree with you.
I'm sorry.
Man.
Unless it really affects them, I feel like people are just trying to get from one place to another.
I got you. I think I could go with that.